Hello, everybody there in Greece. I just want to take an opportunity to visit with you for a few minutes. And sorry I can't be there with you in person, but I would love to tell you about Moms for America, how we created this incredible movement of moms here in the United States. I founded the organization Moms for America in 2004 in a living room in a little town in Ohio in 2004, as I said. And it really started with a realization that things weren't going right in our country. My husband was stationed at the Pentagon on 9/11 when the Twin Towers went down and the Pentagon was attacked. And that was a day that truly changed my life. I started to ask a lot of questions. When my husband came home that day through a series of miracles, I, of course, dropped to my knees and thanked God for his safety. But I also realized up close and personal what the price of freedom was. And I committed at that moment to paying the cost. And I went from being patriotic to being a patriot. And then the United States, that's about, our flag and our anthem and our heritage and our history. But something that I've realized in the course of the last few years as I've been speaking around the world is that we're all suffering from the same problem. And everything that we see as the problem are actually symptoms of the problem. And that is that we are all suffering from an identity crisis. Our countries have a specific history and heritage. I mean, Greece has an incredible history with a lineage that should be absolutely heralded. And we're not sharing the stories of the heroes and patriots throughout our histories with our children. We're not sharing the story and identity of what our countries were about. And that's something that gets people excited. When you can give them back their history and heritage and have them believe in something bigger than themselves, unite together as a people in the country, that makes a difference. So that's where we kind of started our journey. Moms really weren't paying attention to what was happening in the schools. We were entrusting our children to the schools. We didn't, COVID hadn't happened. So we just were moving along every day thinking that everything's fine. Sometimes we have good days. Sometimes we have bad days. Sometimes there are budget issues. But nobody was really aware of the direction that we were going. If any of you are familiar with The Lord of the Rings, the films, the books, when you see the film Lord of the Rings, the orcs were always down underneath the ground in their darkness doing their evil things. Nobody really noticed they were there until the ground broke open and suddenly they're in your face everywhere and you're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Well, that's really what happened in 2020. The orcs came out, the ground split open, and you couldn't unsee what you saw. And so when we started Moms for America, it was all about promoting that history and heritage, helping people understand the role of government in America and how we can play an active role without sacrificing our homes and families. Because first and foremost, moms are all about our kids. So the next thing that is really important to understand when you're bringing moms together and helping build a movement is we realized that the most significant thing that we were doing was validating what moms already felt in their heart to be true. That the most important thing they'll ever do and the greatest act of patriotism they will ever perform is in the walls of their own home. And they're creating the future of everything. The librarians, the media, the elected representatives, all aspects of society are being raised in our homes right now. And so whatever we want our countries to look like, whatever we want our governments to be, we're creating that because a home is a nation, is simply a magnified home. And so that home is going to be that future of the nation. The other thing I think it's important to understand is that all moms care about the same three things. It doesn't matter what country we're from, what race or religion we are. We all care about the same three things. First and foremost, the safety and protection of our children. Second, that a good education. And third, opportunities to succeed. all of those things have been taken away from us through the policies that have been pushed and promoted in all of our governments. When you have boys competing in girls' sports, that's something that really matters to moms. When you have governments and educational systems telling our children to hate their countries, hate themselves, hate their neighbors, that's a problem. We don't want that. We don't want our children being told that they're something other than what they are. And no matter how many surgeries you have or drugs you pump in your body, if you were born a girl, you're going to die a girl. If you were born a boy, you're going to die a boy. Moms understand that. And while there's a lot of be compassionate going on out there, when it affects us directly, we are become extremely concerned about the welfare of our children. So there are a lot of global policies that are being pushed on all of the countries, and it was being pushed in our own. And so how we started the movement is we went to the hearts of moms. We started sharing the history and heritage of our culture in something called cottage meetings, which is, if you're familiar with Tupperware, it's Tupperware for Liberty, a home party kind of setting where you bring your friends, your mom friends together, women in your community, and you just lead a discussion group. And while our cottage meeting is heavily, has a foundation of the Constitution, there are universal truths and principles that cross all barriers. It doesn't matter what country you're from. And family and faith, the idea of being able to keep your own money, being able to provide for your family, those are all things that matter to us. We want to make sure that our children do get a good education, that they do have opportunities to succeed, that they do live in safe neighborhoods, that they do have quality education. All of these things are things that we all care about, and there are those universal truths. So one of the things that Moms for America has done this year as a way to help support all of these growing and fledgling organizations in other countries, Moms for Hungary, Moms for Australia, Moms for Grace. I'm hoping that is a thing too. We have launched momsforfreedom.world. And it is a platform where we can speak universally on these various different issues. We have 3 pillars, which are elevate motherhood, encourage motherhood, and empower mothers. Those are the 3 pillars that we're focusing on, because those are things that can look at the policies that our countries are having and compare it to, does this encourage motherhood? Does it elevate motherhood? Is this empowering mothers? Because there are a lot of people who have just stopped having children, don't want to have children because they think they can't afford it, or society has convinced them that they're not important and it's drudgery. Those things don't resonate with moms. They want to know that they are valued because they feel it in their heart. So Moms for Freedom is a place where we can all come together, where we can help encourage these moms in other countries, but also they can share concerns that they have, whether they are great things that are happening, good policies that are being passed, or policies that are hurting the family, that are discouraging motherhood, that are making it hard for moms to succeed and their families to be able to prosper. And so momsforfreedom.world is officially launched. We have a website up. We're going to be adding to it, but it's just a good solid website now. But I would encourage anyone, any mom in Greece or any country who is interested in learning more to join us. We have several countries that have started these organizations. As I said, Moms for Australia, Moms for Hungary, Moms for Romania, all these different countries that are starting moms groups. And it can start as simple as one or two moms, 2 or 3 moms meeting together. One mom taking a stand, reaching out to her friends. So this is how we did it in the United States. We basically empowered moms. We promoted liberty, and then through our resources, we raised patriots. And you have the ability to do the same thing in Greece by sharing your own history, your own heritage, giving these moms something to believe in, validating what they already feel in their heart to be true, and recognizing that the 3 most important things to them are making sure that their children are safe and protected, they're getting a good education, and they have opportunities to succeed. And the policies that governments are putting forth should fit within those 3 principles. So I hope you have a great conference. I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to an opportunity to being with you in person in Greece and a future date. Thank you so much, and have a great day.